Another live stream tonight on my page here on YouTube and also on Twitch rather tonight. My name is John. My YouTube handle here, Sports Bonanza John, and also on Twitch tonight, Sport Guru John. Getting set to bring you the third and final game of this three-game series and the rubber game of this three-game series between the Cubs and the Cardinals. These two longtime MLB rivals. Teams have split the first two games of this series. Cardinals winning Friday night 5-0, and the Cubs an emphatic 9-1 win last night over the Cardinals to set up the rubber game of this three-game series between the Cubs and the Cardinals. Again, my name is John. Sports Bonanza John is my YouTube handle. If you like what I'm doing, appreciate a like and subscribe from you. And again, also on Twitch tonight at Sport Guru John. I am also on Kick. I am not on Kick tonight, but I do have some content on there under Sports Kick John. As I always do on this stream before we begin the game, do always start off with a pregame prayer. Let's do that right now. Lord Jesus, thank you for this day. Please look over all these players, Lord, and look over everyone and keep everyone safe on this night, Lord. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Cubs and Cardinals, two long-time MLB rivals. They first met back in the late 1800s. They have met over 2,500 times on the baseball field, and the rivalry continues here in 2025. It's the Cubs team that is currently leading the National League wildcard standings, currently 5.5 games behind the Milwaukee Brewers in the National League Central race. The Cardinals are just clinging for dear life in the playoff race right now. They are at 500 right now, and they're probably going to have to go on about an 8-9 game winning streak here in these last 45 games to get themselves back in the playoff picture. They are a big long shot right now to make the postseason as they come in with a 500 record, 59-59. Pitching matchup tonight for this third and final game of the series for the Cubs. It is going to be Shota Imanaga on the mound, and the Cardinals are going to send Sonny Gray to the mound tonight against the Cubs on another pretty good crowd on hand on a Sunday night in St. Louis, as all Cubs-Cardinals matchups do draw pretty well there at Busch. A lot of Cubs fans in attendance once again for the rubber game of this three-game series. Series is tied at 3 as well. So this will break the tie for the season series as well between the Cubs and the Cardinals. Sonny Gray, Cardinals sending their ace out to the mound tonight. Sonny Gray, he's out for the 24th time, a 10-5 record. Leads the Cardinals in wins on the season. ERA of 4.21, 21 walks and 141 strikeouts, 128 in the third innings. He leads the team pitching staff in wins, ERA, strikeouts. 141 strikeouts. No one else on the pitching staff even close to his strikeout total, 141. Cubs lineup he's going to face tonight. It's going to be Michael Busch, the first baseman, leading off. Suzuki at DH will bat second. Kyle Tucker in right field will bat third. Carson Kelly, the Cubs catcher, is the cleanup hitter. Pete Crow Armstrong in center field will bat fifth. Ian Happ in left field bats sixth. Nico Horner at second base will bat seventh. Dansby Swanson at shortstop will bat eighth. And Shaw at third base will bat ninth. Pretty normal starting lineup for the Cubs against the Cardinals here on this Sunday night, after about an hour rain delay to get the game started in St. Louis. Had a nice little cell go through the St. Louis area. But we are set for, as the tarp came off the field about 35, 40 minutes ago, and we are set to go on a Sunday night in the final 45-game stretch of the regular season in Major League Baseball before postseason play will begin here just a little less than 2 months from now. Again, the Cubs leading the National League wild card. The Cardinals, they're still alive, but they're going to have to go on some big run to try to get themselves even in the picture in the playoff discussion. Of course, Major League Baseball does have that extra wild card team now. They do have 3 wild card teams now instead of 2. So that gives a chance to gives a chance for these other teams to try and get going, but the Cardinals still going to have to get themselves on quite a roll here. As Sonny Gray gets set to take the mound and deliver his warm-up tosses. Full slate in Major League Baseball. Everything else has gone final. We will update you on the Major League Baseball scoreboard before we get going here tonight in this one. And in Minneapolis, the Twins and the Royals. The Twins take that series with a 5-3 win over the Royals. Reds in a slugfest in Pittsburgh beat the Pirates 14-8 today. Astros win in the Bronx over the Yankees 7-1. Braves beat the Marlins 7-1. The Braves take 3 of 4 from the Marlins in that series, dealing a serious blow to the Marlins' playoff chances. A's win in Baltimore again, 3-2. Tigers a 9-5 win over the Angels. White Sox get a home win over Cleveland, 6-4. Brewers complete the sweep of the Mets, 7-6. Brewers just continuing their red-hot run in Major League Baseball. Phillies get the sweep in Arlington over the Rangers, 4-2. Nationals blanked the Giants earlier today, 8-0. Padres over the Red Sox, 6-2. Diamondbacks hang 13 on the Rockies and winning 13-6. Mariners 6-3 win over the Rays. And just completed about 30 minutes ago, Blue Jays do avoid the sweep in LA against the Dodgers as they won it 5-4 to wrap up the Major League Baseball scoreboard. And the Cubs and Cardinals tonight. Following this game in St. Louis, the Cubs are going to begin, they have an off day tomorrow, but they are going to begin a huge 3-game series in Toronto against the Blue Jays beginning Tuesday night. Toronto leading the American League East right now. So that is a big series getting ready to kick off Tuesday night north of the border at the Rogers Center in Toronto. As the Blue Jays getting some company in that American League East race as the Red Sox on a roll themselves, although they did fall this weekend in San Diego. They lost 2 of 3 in that series over the weekend. We are set to go here in this one. Michael Busch will lead it off for the Cubs tonight. In the leadoff spot, hit a 3-run home run in last night's game in the Cubs' 9-1 win over the Cardinals. Busch overall hitting at .266 on the year, 22 home runs with that home run last night. Drove in 64 on the year. As the crowd continues to file back in from that rain delay we had to begin this game. As Michael Busch steps up to the plate against Sonny Gray, and about an hour after an hour rain delay, we are set to begin from St. Louis. Third and final game and the rubber game of this 3-game series between the Cubs and the Cardinals. Sky still a little overcast over the Gateway City. And the first pitch from Gray, and we are underway on a Sunday night. Strike 1 on the inside corner to Michael Busch. Home plate umpire tonight is Edwin Jimenez. Ben May is at first base. Roberto Ortiz at second, and Bill Miller, the umpire, over at third base. Busch fouls that pitch off on the 0-1, and he's quickly behind 0-2 against Sonny Gray. Gray leading the Cardinals in wins on the pitching staff with 10. Next closest on the pitching staff, 6 wins. 3 pitchers have 6 wins on this season for the Cardinals. As Gray delivers the 0-2 pitch to Michael Busch. Little low. Busch did hold up, although they do appeal to the third base umpire, but no swing. It's 1-2 on Michael Busch. Cubs come in 67-49, 18 games over 500, leading the National League wildcard race. Cardinals come in at 500, 59-59 on the season. And here's the 1-2 pitch. Bush rips it right to first base and fielded on one hop by Contreras. He'll step on first base bag, and that's how the night begins, the first out. We'll bring up the Cubs DH, Seiya Suzuki. Suzuki, a .251 hitter, 27 home runs. He's drove in 84 on the year, tied for the home run lead on the club with Pete Crow Armstrong. Suzuki is the RBI leader on this Cubs team with his 84. And Gray's pitch to Suzuki is a strike. Here's the 0-1. Suzuki lines this one into right center. That's going to get down for a base hit. And Suzuki is aboard with a one-out single for the Cubs here in the top of the first. And that will bring up the Cub right fielder, Kyle Tucker. Tucker hitting at .272 on the season. 18 home runs for Tucker. He's drove in 62. Lead at first base from Suzuki, and the pitch to Tucker is in the air. Shallow left center field. Calling for it out there is the center fielder, Scott, and he's got it for out number 2. And it'll bring up the Cubs cleanup hitter, the catcher, Carson Kelly. Kelly hitting at .276 on the year. He's got 13 home runs on the season, and he's drove in 38. With a runner at first and 2 outs here in the Cubs' first inning. That pitch misses outside for ball 1. Kelly awaits Gray's 0-1 pitch. Kelly fouls it away for strike 1, a ball and a strike. A lot of blue in the stands in St. Louis, as well as, of course, a lot of Cardinal red. Cubs, one of the best traveling fan bases in Major League Baseball. The 1-1 pitch misses outside, 2-1. Suzuki, the lead from first. Not a real big stolen base threat. He's only got 3 on the season. Here's the 2-1. That misses outside, and it's now 3-1 to Carson Kelly. Kelly awaits the 3-1 pitch from Sonny Gray, and here it is. That's ball 4, and Kelly draws a 2-out walk, and the Cubs have runners at first and second with 2 outs. For Pete Crow Armstrong. Pete Crow Armstrong hitting .258 on the year, 27 home runs. He's drove in 78. He's been finding himself in a little bit of an offensive funk here recently. 0 for 5 in the game last night. The pitch to Pete Crow Armstrong misses high, ball 1. Armstrong just 1 for his last 29 at the plate. And that's now 2-0. Got away from the catcher Pajes for a moment, but not far enough to advance the runners. Here's the 2-0 pitch to Pete Crow Armstrong from Sonny Gray. That's ball 3. That's now 6 straight out of the strike zone from Sonny Gray, and he's behind Armstrong 3-0. Suzuki at second, Kelly at first, the two base runners for the Cubs here in the first with 2 outs. And the 3-0 pitch to Pete Crow Armstrong. He swings away and hits it to first base. Contreras underhand to Gray, and Pete Crow Armstrong had the green light on 3-0 and bounces out to first. And the Cubs are retired in the first. They strand 2. We go to the bottom of the first inning. It's the Cubs nothing. The Cardinals coming to bat against the Cubs starting pitcher tonight. Imanaga, the starter for the Cubs tonight, getting his 17th start of the year. 8-4 record for Imanaga, a 3.12 ERA. 17 walks and 70 strikeouts in 89 and a third innings. And he will face this Cardinals lineup. It will be Wynn, the shortstop, leading off. Herrera, the DH, will be at bat second. Wilson Contreras at first base bats third. Burleson, the left fielder, is the cleanup hitter. Jordan Walker in right field will bat fifth. Gorman at third base will bat sixth. Sagasy batting second. He's the second baseman. Pages, the catcher tonight for the Cardinals. He bats eighth. And Scott the second gets the start tonight in center field for the Cardinals. He will bat ninth to round out the batting order. For the Cardinals tonight, who come in 59 and 59 on the season. And just barely keeping themselves alive in the wild card picture in the National League. As Mason Wynn leads it off tonight for the Cardinals, he will be the first batter in the bottom of the first. Wynn hitting .269 on the year. He's got 8 home runs on the season. He's drove in 42. As Imanaga finishes his warm-up tosses. And gets ready for the first pitch of the bottom of the first. To Mason Wynn. Ball 1. Wynn fouls back the 1-0 pitch, and it's now 1-1. Marmol the Cardinals manager, shuffled up the starting lineup a little bit tonight, rearranged some hitters from last night. Victor Scott getting the start tonight in center field, and Pages getting the start behind the plate. 1-1 pitch is way high. 2 balls, 1 strike to count on Mason Wynn. Imanaga delivers a 2-1 pitch to Wynn. Little off the plate for ball 3. So Imanaga down, trailing the first batter he faces, now 3-1. Three-one offering, foul back, and the count runs full now to Mason Wynn, 3-2. Three-two payoff pitch to Wynn from Imanaga. Wynn pops it foul, first base side, and it is caught as it stayed in play as Kelly makes the catch for the first out. Brings up the Cardinals DH, Ivan Herrera. 300 hitter is Herrera, 10 home runs. He's drove in 42 on the year. as Herrera takes the pitch for strike one from Imanaga. Von Herrera DHing also does some catching for the Cardinals. And the strike one pitch from Imanaga, way high, a ball and a strike now to Von Herrera. Imanaga working very quickly on the mound and delivers the 1-1 pitch to Herrera. That's right there at the knees for strike two, a ball and two strikes. One-two pitch. Foul back, and we'll do it again. One ball and two strikes the count on Herrera. And he awaits another 1-2 pitch from Imanaga. Ripped foul, third base side. Stays 1-2. Imanaga gets set to deliver another 1-2 pitch to the Cardinal DH. That's down low, 2-2. As well as the scores around Major League Baseball, we will get you updated on all the other actions going on in the sports world on this Sunday. As the 2-2 offering is hit in the air, right field, very shallow right field. Bush, over his shoulder, makes the catch for out number 2. 2 down here in the Cardinals' first inning, and it'll bring up Wilson Contreras, the Cardinal first baseman. Coming in at .260 on the season, 16 home runs, 65 runs batted in. Contreras, the Cardinals' leader in home runs and RBIs. And Imanaga's pitch is a little high, ball 1. And there's a strike at the knees. And that evens the count 1-1. Here's the 1-1. Fouled off the foot of Contreras, and it's now a ball and 2 strikes. Imanaga steps back in and is set to deliver the 1-2 pitch to Contreras, although Contreras steps out. Feeling a little bit of pain on that left foot off that foul ball. And now the trainer coming out to take a look at Wilson Contreras. There's a lot of padding on these major league players and these batters, but the top of the foot outside of your shoe, that is not one of the places that's padded. And if you hit a foul ball off the top of your foot, that's going to sting. Contreras steps back in, tells the trainer he's all right, and awaits a 1-2 pitch from Imanaga. Imanaga delivers. Down low, 2-2 now on Wilson Contreras. Contreras still trying to walk off that foul ball off his foot. between pitches here. And here's the 2-2 pitch from Imanaga. On the ground to first. And just beating Contreras to the bag as Bush thought he might try and underhand that to the pitcher Imanaga there, but Bush decided to take it himself and does get the out, and the Cardinals are retired in order, 1-2-3 in the bottom of the first. Inning in the books in St. Louis, Cubs and Cardinals, no score. Other action around the sports world today, FedEx Cup playoffs getting underway on the PGA Tour, and Justin Rose winning the St. Jude Championship in a playoff on the first leg of the FedEx Cup playoffs. Beat J.J. Spawn in a playoff to win the St. Jude out there in Memphis. And the opening week of preseason NFL football concluded today with 2 games. Dolphins and Bears ended in a tie in their first preseason game. Preseason football getting back underway on Friday, week 2 of what is a 3-week preseason. Before the NFL kicks off on the first Thursday in September the 4th in Philadelphia, the Eagles will be raising their Super Bowl banner that night out there in Philadelphia, as they will host their longtime NFC East rivals, the Cowboys, on opening night out there in Philadelphia. As we are just about, what's that going to be, 3 weeks from this Thursday will be the opening kickoff night in the NFL, just 3 weeks away, and we are less than 2 weeks away from the opening of college football. As a week from this coming Saturday will be the first week of college football, what they call week 0. Very short schedule that opening week before things really get underway the last weekend in August. Be a lot of football on this channel here on the live stream as football season gets underway. As we come back to this game, Cubs and Cardinals, no score as we head to the second inning. Ian Happ will lead off the top of the second for the Cubs against Sonny Gray. Ian Happ comes in hitting .232 on the season, 16 home runs. He's drove in 55. As the sun has made an appearance in St. Louis after what has been a rainy Sunday in the Gateway City. Gray steps in, and the first pitch, top of the second, to Ian Happ is a swing foul, first base side for strike 1. Happ steps back in and awaits Gray's 0-1 pitch. That's up and in, a ball and a strike. The 1-1 pitch on the way. Little low, 2-1 now. Two-one is low, and it's now 3-1 count on Ian Happ to lead off the Cubs' second inning. Gray delivers the 3-1 pitch to Ian Happ. Happ sends it in the air to right. Barely having to move out there in right field is Jordan Walker, and he's got it for the first out here in the top of the second. One down, and it brings up Nico Hoerner for the Cubs. Hoerner hitting .289, 4 home runs. He's drove in 47. He is the Cubs' leader in batting average and hits on the season, as he steps up with 1 out and nobody on here in the second. And Hoerner takes low for ball 1. 1-0 pitch to Horner from Sonny Gray is a little high, and Gray behind Horner now 2-0. Two-zero pitch on the way from Gray to Nico Horner. That caught the outside corner for strike one at the knees, 2-1. Tell you what, they had such a rainstorm in this game before the game. Both dugouts were just flooded. It was just an absolute monsoon of a rainstorm that came through earlier. As Horner fouls this off, it's now 2-2. But the rain has left and sunshine has appeared over Busch Stadium. Horner steps back in and awaits Sonny Gray's 2-2 pitch. On the ground to first, Contreras over to Gray, who steps on first to retire Horner for out number 2 in the Cubs' second inning. And it will bring up the Cubs shortstop Dansby Swanson with 2 out, nobody on. Swanson hitting at .250 on the season. He's got 18 home runs. He's drove in 55. Two out, nobody on here in the Cubs' second inning in a scoreless game. And Gray delivers to Dansby Swanson. That is ripped into left field. That's going to be a base hit for Dansby Swanson, and he has himself a 2-out single for the Cubs here in the second. And it will bring up the Cubs' number 9 hitter, Matt Shaw, Cub third baseman. Shaw hitting at .227, 8 home runs. He's drove in 28. Had a home run in last night's win for the Cubs, as the Cubs jumped out early in last night's game, enrolling to a 9-1 win last night. Shaw takes strike one down the middle, 0-1. Swanson aboard with a 2-out single. And the 0-1 pitch from Gray to Shaw. Foul back, and Shaw behind in the count, 0-2. Gray gets set to deliver the 0-2 pitch to Matt Shaw. Here it is. That just missed outside. The appeal to first base, but no swing. And it is 1-2. 72-degree evening in St. Louis. It was in the high 80s at first pitch last night. The 1-2 is down low. Runner takes off, and safe at second base is Swanson on a stolen base. Swanson took off and steals his 10th base of the season and gets himself into scoring position with 2 outs. And now they're calling Swanson out. And that's going to end the inning. There was a safe call originally, but now Swanson has been called out at second base. And that will end the top of the second for the Cubs. Not sure what exactly the call was there to end the second. I don't know if Swanson came off the bag, but nonetheless, he is out, as are the Cubs in the top of the second. They do not score. We head to the bottom of the second inning. It remains Cubs 0, Cardinals 0. The Cardinals will have the middle of the order, 4, 5, and 6, due up against Imanaga in the bottom of the first, or in the bottom of the second, rather. Other news around Major League Baseball during this timeout was Seattle Mariners' Cal Raleigh belted another home run today. That's now 45 on the season for Cal Raleigh, as the Mariners continue to just roll as they beat Tampa Bay today in Seattle once again. Also in the sports news, sports world today, for the fourth out in Portland today, for the fourth time in the last 5 seasons, Alex Palau clinched the IndyCar championship. There's still 2 races to go in the IndyCar season, and Palau has already clinched the championship. Mention his 4th in 5 years, as he is dominating the IndyCar series right now. So we get set to go in the bottom of the 2nd inning here. It's going to be Burleson leading it off for the Cardinals in the bottom of the 2nd. Against Imanaga, Burleson is a .282 batter, 14 home runs. He's drove in 51 on the season. Update on my stream here. Following this one, I hope to be back with you Tuesday night for the opening game of that series between the Cubs and the Blue Jays. Have to see how my work schedule, if it cooperates or not, but the tentative plan is to be back with you Tuesday night for the opening game of that big 3-game series between the Cubs and the Blue Jays. Here we go. First pitch, bottom 2. Imanaga to Burleson, strike 1. Burleson awaits Imanaga's 0-1 pitch. Fouled away. It's quickly 0-2 on Burleson. Imanaga's 0-2 pitch to Alec Burleson. Swing and a miss for strike 3. That's the first strikeout for Imanaga and the first out in the bottom of the 2nd. Brings up Jordan Walker. Walker hitting at .240, 4 home runs. He's drove in 31 on the year. He hit a home run Friday night in the Cardinals series opening 5-0 win. And the pitch to Walker catches the inside corner, strike 1. Imanaga's 0-1 pitch to Walker. Swing and a miss. It's quickly 0-2 on Walker. Walker asks for time before he gets the 0-2 pitch from Imanaga. .0-2 pitch. Walker fouls it back, and we'll do it again. .0-2 pitch once again from Imanaga to Walker. Is outside, 1-2. Walker again receives the 1-2 from Imanaga. Swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts for Imanaga here in the 2nd. 2 down in the inning, and that will bring up number 6 hitter for the Cardinals, Nolan Gorman. Playing third base tonight for the Cardinals. Gorman hitting at .227. He's got 10 home runs on the season. He's drove in 33. Steps up with 2 out, nobody on. Gorman takes on the outside corner, strike 1. Imanaga's 0-1 pitch to Gorman on the way. That's caught the inside corner. 0-2. Imanaga delivers the 0-2 pitch to Gorman. And here it is. Up high, 1-2. 2 out, nobody on for the Cardinals in a scoreless bottom of the second. And the 1-2 pitch to Gorman. Called strike 3. And Imanaga strikes out the side in the second inning. 6 up, 6 down so far for Imanaga as we've played 2 in St. Louis. It's the Cubs nothing, the Cardinals nothing. Top of the order due up for the Cubs here in the top of the third. Against Sonny Gray. Other action in the sports world. Let's update you on scores from the WNBA from today. Minnesota continuing to show they're the best team in the WNBA as they took out New York today, 83-71. Washington a win in Dallas, 91-78. Atlanta wins in Phoenix, 74-66. Game in progress in the second quarter. Seattle leading the LA Sparks, 31-29, and coming up a little later on. Out in Las Vegas, the Aces host Connecticut. It's your WNBA schedule for today. We'll run down the baseball scoreboard once again for you next half inning. As we are getting down to the final 6 weeks or so, 6-7 weeks of the regular season in Major League Baseball. The contenders starting to now kind of separate themselves from the rest of the field for as far as playoffs go. Starting to kind of get a glimpse as to who we possibly are getting ready to more than likely to see in the postseason, but there are still a lot of teams with hope for the playoffs. This Cardinals team is still right there, but they're going to have to go. They're going to have to go on about an 8-9 game winning streak, you would think, to get themselves back in the playoff picture. As they come in at 59-59. Cubs leading the National League wild card currently at 67-49. They're 5.5 back of the Brewers in the National League Central. The Brewers just absolutely red hot right now. They've been probably the best team in baseball the last 6 weeks. Michael Busch leads off the Cubs third, the top of the order, and takes a strike. Busch is 0 for 1 on the night so far. And the 0-1 is a little too high, a ball and a strike. Gray's 1-1 pitch to Michael Busch is hit foul, first base side. It's now a ball and 2 strikes. Gray's 1-2 pitch to Busch. Hit foul, and we'll do it again. One-two pitch. Busch fouls it off again. Stays alive. Bush will be followed by Suzuki and Tucker here in the Cubs' third inning. In the rubber game of this 3-game series between these two teams. Another 1-2 swing and a miss. Bush strikes out. And that's the first out here at the top of the third. And it'll bring up the Cubs DH Suzuki. Suzuki singled back in the first inning. Suzuki takes strike one. The strike one pitch from Gray to Suzuki. Strike two, and it's quickly 0-2 now. The count to Suzuki. Gray delivering the 0-2 pitch to Suzuki. Suzuki hits it foul and will do it again, as that will reach the seats. Suzuki steps back in and awaits Sonny Gray's 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. That one down in the dirt. They will have to throw to first to complete the out. Back-to-back strikeouts for Sonny Gray, and there's 2 outs here in the Cubs' third inning. And it will bring up Kyle Tucker. Tucker 0 for 1 so far tonight, as he comes up with 2 out, nobody on here in the Cubs' third inning. Gray delivers to Kyle Tucker. Strike one at the knees. Tucker steps back in and awaits the 0-1 pitch from Sonny Gray. That's down low, a ball and a strike. Gray looks in at his catcher Pajes and delivers the 1-1 pitch. That's down low, 2-1 now the count to Kyle Tucker. Cubs catcher Carson Kelly on deck. And comes the 2-1 pitch from Gray to Tucker. Tucker fouls it off, evens the count now 2-2. Gray steps back up and will deliver the 2-2 pitch to Kyle Tucker. Here it is. Called strike 3 on the outside corner. Just like Imanaga did in the bottom of the second, Sonny Gray strikes out the side in the top of the third. We go to the bottom of the third inning. Still Cubs nothing, Cardinals nothing. Be the 7, 8, and 9 batters for the Cardinals due up in the bottom of the third against Imanaga. As the Cubs look to win this series and stay 5 behind the Brewers and continue to lead the National League wildcard race. Brewers won again today over the Mets 7-6. That's 9 in a row now for the Brewers, as they are just red hot. The hottest team in baseball by far the past 6 weeks. And they have a serious chance of, if they continue to play like this, you may see that team hoist the World Series trophy for the first time there in Milwaukee. We still have 6 weeks of the season left. Another team chasing the Cubs in the Central, the Reds, they win today in Pittsburgh 14-8. Keep their playoff hopes, stay right in the playoff picture. The Marlins, on the other hand, lost to the Braves 7-1. Marlins lose 3 out of 4 in that series, and the Marlins' playoff chances are starting to slip away down there in Miami. Tigers beat the Angels 9-5. Tigers, they had a comfortable lead in the American League Central about a month ago, but that lead is continuing to dwindle as Cleveland has been red hot, although Cleveland lost today to the White Sox 6-4. So Detroit does pick up a game on surging Cleveland today. Run down the rest of the scoreboard for you here in a little bit as we get set to go in the bottom of the third inning here. No score. Sagasy will be the leadoff batter here in the bottom of the third for the Cardinals. Sagasy comes in hitting .239 on the season. He's got a home run on the year. He's drove in 10. As Imanaga has retired the first 6 Cardinals he's faced tonight. As Sagasy steps in the box to get set here in the bottom of the third inning. The ball or something got loose there in center field. Got that cleared up, and we're set to go. First pitch, bottom of the third. Swing and a miss from Sagasy. It's 0-1. Imanaga set to deliver the 0-1 pitch to Sagasy. That's down low, a ball and a strike. Leading it off. It's now 1-2. One-two pitch. Hit foul, and we'll do it again. Sagasy steps back in and awaits the 1-2 pitch from Imanaga. Fouled away. Another 1-2 pitch coming from Imanaga to Sagasy. On the ground and through, past the shortstop and into left field, and the Cardinals have their first base runner of the night. Leadoff single for Sagasy here in the bottom of the third. And it will bring up the Cardinals catcher tonight, Pedro Pages. Pages, a .210 hitter, 7 home runs. He's drove in 33. Leadoff man on for the Cardinals here in the bottom of the third. And the pitch from Imanaga to Pages is on the inside corner, strike one. Imanaga's 0-1 pitch. Pages hits it in the air pretty well to left center. Back it goes, and that ball is gone. Pages sends it out over the left center field wall for a 2-run home run. And the Cardinals strike first. It's 2-0 in the bottom of the third. Number 8 on the season for Pages. RBIs number 34 and 35. 2-0 St. Louis here in the bottom of the third. Hey, Pages gave that one a ride over the left center field wall. And the batter, Victor Scott, and he bunts. And he's going to almost beat it out, but just gets him by a step. And that'll be the first out here in the bottom of the third. One down, and we're back to the top of the order for the Cardinals. Mason Wynn. Wynn is 0 for 1 in the game. And Wynn fouls that one off himself in the batter's box. The strike one pitch on the way to Wynn from Imanaga. As Wynn steps out. That foul ball got him pretty good in the batter's box. But steps back in now. And awaits the 0-1 pitch from Imanaga. Wynn sends a drive into left field. That one's going to stay in the yard, however, as the left fielder Happ under it for out number 2. 2 down here in the bottom of the third, and it will bring up Herrera, the Cardinal DH. Herrera 0 for 1 so far tonight. And the pitch, strike one. The 0-1 pitch from Imanaga to Herrera. At the knees, strike 2. Herrera didn't care for that call. From the home plate umpire, Edwin Jimenez. The 0-2 pitch. Inside corner, strike 3. Jimenez strikes out, and that will do it for the Cardinals in the bottom of the third. But a 2-run home run from Pedro Pages gets the Cardinals on the board first, as we've played 3 in St. Louis. Cardinals lead the Cubs 2-0. For the Cubs in the top of the 4th inning, it is going to be the 4, 5, and 6 hitters, Kelly, Crow, Armstrong, and Happ, against Sonny Gray, who will now work from the mound with the lead for the first time tonight. Running down the rest of that Major League scoreboard for you. Astros winning the Bronx over the Yankees 7-1. Twins in 11. Beat the Royals 5-3. A's a 3-2 win in Baltimore over the Orioles. Other finals, Phillies sweep the Rangers in Arlington 4-2. Nationals shut out the Giants out in the Bay Area 8-0. Padres take the series over the Red Sox 6-2 the final. Diamondbacks a 13-6 win over the Rockies. Mariners over the Rays 6-3. Cal Raleigh hit his 45th in that game. And the Blue Jays get the win at Dodger Stadium 5-4 to avoid the sweep against the Dodgers. As these Cubs will get set to take on the Blue Jays for a 3-game series in Toronto beginning on Tuesday night. A big series that is. And as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to, on my stream here, on my live stream, I am going to attempt to do the Tuesday night game as long as my full-time job schedule cooperates. If it does, I plan on being back on with you Tuesday night for the first game of that big series between the Cubs and Blue Jays in Toronto on Tuesday night. Cardinals, following this series, stay home and take on the Rockies for a series. As we get set to go the top of the fourth inning, it's going to be Carson Kelly, the Cub catcher, leading it off. He walked his first time up against Sonny Gray. As Sonny Gray now works with a 2-0 lead in this game. First pitch, top of the fourth, is hit to third, and the off-balance throw, one hop to first in time. And there's the first out here in the top of the fourth. Brings up Pete Crow Armstrong. Pete Crow Armstrong 0 for 1 so far in this one. He's now 1 for his last 30 at the plate. He is really going through an offensive funk right now at the plate. And takes on the inside corner for strike one. Oh, 1 pitch. Outside, a ball and a strike to Pete Crow Armstrong. Despite his funk, he's still tied for the team lead in home runs with 27. Armstrong, that's into right, and there's a base hit. So that might be a hit that Pete Crow Armstrong needs to try and break out of his funk here as he gets a 1-out single to right here in the fourth. And it will bring up the Cubs left fielder, Ian Happ. Now, Pete Crow Armstrong is a stolen base threat. He leads the Cubs in stolen bases with 29. Medium-sized lead from first for him right now, and the pitch is ball one. Pete Crow Armstrong, another lead from first, and the 1-0 pitch does not go, and it's a strike at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike. One and one, the count on Ian Happ, and the throw over to first to keep Pete Crow Armstrong close as he dives back in. One pitch. Down low, Armstrong takes off, and he's just got his 30th steal of the year. He got a great jump, and there was no chance to throw him out at second base. And Pete Crow Armstrong gets into scoring position with his 30th stolen base of the season. A 2-1 count on Ian Happ. And here is the 2-1 pitch. And the throw back to second, and they got him. They picked him off at second base. Pete Crow Armstrong immediately calling for a review. But for the moment, the call is out at second base, but Pete Crow Armstrong's adamant he got back. It's close on the replay. It's very close. but no challenge. And Pete Crow Armstrong is picked off at second base. It might have been a good idea that the Cubs did not challenge that because it has to be indisputable on the replay, and I don't see anything there that was definitive enough that was going to overturn the call. 2-1 pitch is a strike, 2-2. So the Cubs probably wise to not challenge that. Two instead. Ian Happ steps out. Prior to Sonny Gray's 2-2 pitch. Two-two pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike three. The Cubs down in the fourth. It's a fourth strikeout for Sonny Gray. No runs, a hit, and nobody left. We go to the bottom of the fourth inning in St. Louis. It stays the Cardinals 2, Cubs nothing. It'll be the 3, 4, and 5 hitters for the Cardinals, Contreras, Burleson, and Walker, in the bottom of the fourth inning against Imanaga. As the Cardinals continue to lead this game 2-0. Also in the sports world today, the championship game in the Little League Softball World Series in Pennsylvania brings home a Little League Softball championship. For the first time since the 70s, they beat the Indiana team from Floyd's Knobs 1-0 in the championship game today out there in Greenville, North Carolina. So Pennsylvania has themselves a Little League softball champion for the first time in 47 years, 1978. Last time. And of course, the Little League Baseball World Series gets underway on Wednesday from up there in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. One of the best sporting and a place I have been for any sports fan. That has to be something on your bucket list, a trip up there to Williamsport, Pennsylvania. A great, great experience up there. The Little League World Series. Proud to say I have been up there and glad I made it up there. 2-0 lead here for the Cardinals in the bottom of the fourth inning. As it will be Wilson Contreras leading off the bottom of the fourth for the Cardinals. Against Imanaga, who's at 44 pitches so far through 3 innings. As we get set to begin the bottom half of inning number 4, 2-0, Cardinals lead the Cubs. First pitch, bottom 4. At the knees, strike 1. Oh, 1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Contreras behind, 0-2. Contreras will be followed by Burleson and Walker here in the Cardinals' fourth inning. Here comes the 2-strike pitch from Imanaga to Contreras. Inside, 1-2. One-two offering. Hit foul, first base side. That will be off the screen, and we'll do it again. Comes another 1-2 pitch from Imanaga to Contreras. Grounded foul, third base side. We'll do it again. Another 1-2 pitch on the way from Imanaga to Contreras. Here it is. Swing and a miss. Strike three. Went after a high one. Imanaga strikes out Contreras for his fifth strikeout of the night. And it will bring up Burleson. Burleson, a strikeout victim his first time up against Imanaga. And the pitch is there for strike one. Imanaga just crossed the 50 pitch mark as he delivers the 0-1. That's at the knees, strike two. Imanaga's 0-2 pitch on the way to Burleson. And here it is. Up high, 1-2. One-two pitch. Just missed low, 2-2. Imanaga delivers the 2-2 pitch to Burleson. Down low, and the count runs full now. So good job by Burleson, who was down in the count 0-2. He's come back, battled back to a full count. Three-two delivery, swing and a miss. Burleson strikes out for the second time, and that is strikeout number 6 for Imanaga on the night. 2 down, and it will bring up Jordan Walker, who also struck out his first time up. And the pitch. On the ground to third. Nice backhanded play. Throw across the diamond in time. Nice play by Shaw. And the throw over to first base to retire Walker and retire the Cardinals 1-2-3 in the bottom of the fourth. Second good defensive play we've seen from Shaw at third base tonight. We've played 4 in St. Louis. Cardinals 2, Cubs nothing. It is going to be the 7, 8, and 9 hitters for the Cubs. Horner, Swanson, and Shaw due up in the top of the 5th inning against Sonny Gray. Told you about the Cubs-Blue Jays series in the midweek. That's about the big series of the midweek. A couple other big series. Cincinnati, the Phillies, and the Reds. That's looking like a pretty important series right now in the National League. Brewers on this, just the tear they're on right now. They will host the Pirates for a series starting tomorrow. Red Sox and Astros, that's looking like a pretty important series right now as well. So those are the big midweek series coming up in Major League Baseball this week. And in this one, the Cardinals lead the Cubs 2-0 as we are set to begin the top of the fifth inning. Nico Horner will lead it off for the Cubs in the top of the fifth against Sonny Gray. Two runs, 2 hits for the Cardinals. No runs, 3 hits for the Cubs so far. As Horner will step up to begin the top of the fifth inning. First pitch, top 5, low, ball 1. One 0 pitch. Outside, now 2-0. Two 0 pitch. There's a strike, 2-1 now. Two 1 offering. Hit foul. That'll even the count now, 2-2. Folks watching, I want to apologize. It appears having a little bit of a connection issue with my internet tonight, so apologies for that. 2-2 pitch. In the air, right center field. Over is Walker for the catch, and that's how the top of the fifth inning begins. One away in the Cubs' fifth, and it'll bring up Dansby Swanson, who has one of the 3 Cub hits tonight. Swanson steps in, and Gray delivers. One hop to third. Across the diamond, it pulled Contreras off the bag, and Swanson is safe. It was a wide throw from Gorman at third base, and it pulled Contreras off the first base bag, and that's going to be an E5. And Swanson reaches with 1 out. So the tying run comes to the plate here for the Cubs, and the man of Matt Shaw. Shaw is 0 for 1. He did hit a home run in last night's game. The pitch to Shaw is right there for strike 1. See if the error comes back to hurt the Cardinals here. And the strike 1 pitch, Shaw shows bunt and takes low and outside for ball 1. Swanson, the lead from first. He has 9 steals on the season. And a throw over to first. Sonny Gray at 63 pitches right now. And he delivers the 1-1 pitch. Foul ball, first base side, and Shaw now in a hole, 1-2. Here comes a 1-2 pitch from Gray to Shaw. Shaw rips it into left and deep. Back to the wall. It is gone. Shaw, for the second straight game, hits a home run to left, and the Cubs have tied this game in the fifth, 2-2. So the error does come back and hurt the Cardinals, as it would only be a one-run game, but with the error, this game is tied in the top of the fifth inning. Home run number 9 on the year for Matt Shaw. RBIs 29 and 30. As we are back now to the top of the order in Michael Busch. Busch takes inside for ball 1. Shaw sent that one into the Cubs bullpen beyond the left center field wall. And Busch now ahead of the count, 2-0. Offering. There's a strike down the middle. 2-1 now on Michael Busch. Two-one pitch up high. 3-1 now. The count on Busch. Here comes the 3-1 pitch. Strike 2, and the count runs full now, 3-2. Suzuki is on deck. The 3-2 payoff pitch from Gray to Busch. Called strike 3 on the outside corner. Strikeout number 6 for Sonny Gray. 2 down in the fifth, and it will bring up Suzuki, who's 1 for 2 tonight. Here's the pitch to Suzuki. Foul back, strike 1. Comes the 0-1 pitch on the way from Gray to Suzuki. Down low. 1-1 now. One pitch. Hit to short. The throw over to Contreras, and that'll do it for the Cubs in the top of the fifth. But a game-tying 2-run home run off the bat of Matt Shaw has tied this game as we're at the halfway point. Cubs and Cardinals now tied up 2-2. As the Cardinals will have 6, 7, and 8 in the batting order. Gorman, Sagassi, and Pages due up in the bottom of the fifth against Imanaga. As Imanaga currently at the 57 pitch mark through 4 innings. Gray has gotten through 5 for the Cardinals. He's at 74 pitches. In a 2-2 ball game here at the bottom of the 5th inning. as Matt Shaw's 2-run home run has tied this game for the Cubs. So they come in 67-49, leading the National League wild card race. Cardinals come in at 59-59. They are 9 back of the Cubs. And the Cubs could just with the red-hot run the Brewers are on, they can't seem to get any ground on the Brewers. They come into this game 5.5 behind the Brewers in the National League Central. As they're hoping the Brewers come down to earth here a little bit. They have just been on an absolute tear the last 6 weeks or so. As they are now, I believe they're like 34-10 in their last 44 games or something ridiculous like that. They are just on an absolute tear up there in Milwaukee right now. They swept the Mets this weekend in Milwaukee. 6, 7, 8 due up for the Cardinals here at the bottom of the 5th inning. Now in a brand new ball game, 2-2, as Gorman will lead it off in the bottom of the 5th for the Cardinals. First pitch, bottom of the 5th on the way from Imanaga to Gorman. Gorman, first pitch swinging in the air to left. Happ makes the catch just along the foul line out there on left field, and 1 pitch, 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Brings up Sagasy. He's 1 for 1. He singled and scored on the Pages 2-run home run back in the 3rd. That at the time gave the Cardinals a 2-0 lead before Shaw's home run in the top of this inning has tied it. Sagasy takes strike 1. The strike 1 pitch. Inside, 1-1. One pitch, foul back, 1-2. One-two offering. Up high, 2-2. Two-two pitch from Imanaga to Sagasy. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That is strikeout number 7 tonight from Imanaga. 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th. As it will bring up Pages. Cardinal catcher hit that 2-run home run back in the 3rd inning. He comes up now with 2 out and nobody on. Strike 1. That is the 14th straight batter Imanaga has started with a first pitch strike tonight. And the 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss, and quickly Pages behind in the count, 0-2. Pages steps back in and awaits the 0-2 pitch from Imanaga. Pages sends it in the air to center field. deepest part of the ballpark, and the catch made by Pete Crow Armstrong, and the Cardinals retired 1-2-3 in the bottom of the fifth. We've played 5 in St. Louis. It's the Cubs 2, Cardinals 2. It'll be the 3, 4, and 5 hitters for the Cubs, Tucker, Kelly, and Crow Armstrong, due up in the top of the 6th inning. So an update on my stream here. Do have a couple of regular viewers on my stream. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. And again, I'm still fairly new at this, so I don't have the graphic capabilities or anything like that yet. So appreciate you all bearing with me on that. I wanted to see how this went before I put a whole lot of money into this, but I appreciate everybody. And if you like my content here on YouTube, Sports Bonanza John, appreciate a like and subscribe on the page. That would mean a lot to me. It really would. Updated schedule going forward on my live stream. I'm going to do a few more Major League Baseball games. And then coming up, college football. Plan on being with you on Saturdays for college football. My tentative plan is to do one FBS and one FCS game on Saturdays. That's the tentative plan anyway. That is, and NFL season, going to do some streams with you. Haven't decided fully what the schedule is going to be on that. Probably do the Sunday night and Monday night games. Possibly might do a late afternoon Sunday game. That's kind of where I'm leaning at this point. That's still kind of up in the air for NFL season. Do know on the NFL season, I'm going to cover I will be on the live stream for the opening Thursday night of the season between the Cowboys and the Eagles. And trying to set the schedule going forward, but I think probably the Sunday night and Monday night games for sure. Again, work schedule permitting. And we'll go from there as to what else I'm going to do in the NFL. But the college schedule, I'm pretty certain I'm going to do an FBS and an FCS game every Saturday on the college side. As this stream's going to get going pretty good come football season. It's still going to bring you some Major League Baseball as well, especially as the pennant races heat up as we get into late August and early September. And here it is 2-2 Cubs and Cardinals as we get set to begin the top of the 6th inning. It'll be Kyle Tucker, then Carson Kelly and Pete Crow Armstrong batting for the Cubs here in the 6th. First pitch, top 6 is low for ball 1 to Kyle Tucker. Tucker 0 for 2 tonight. Has Gray back out there for his 6th inning. He's at 75 pitches right now, and the 1-0 is low, and Gray's behind Tucker now 2-0. Good crowd on hand at Busch Stadium on this Sunday evening. Tucker lines it. Ryan, second baseman, right there for the grab. Sagasy for out number 1. So Tucker lines out to Sagasy at second for the first out of the 6th, and it'll bring up Carson Kelly. Kelly 0 for 1 on the night. He has reached on a walk. Pitch from Sonny Gray is a strike. Kelly didn't care for that goal. There have been a few batters that haven't cared for Edwin Jimenez strike zone tonight, but it's been pretty consistent. 0-1 pitch is hit on 2-hop to short, bobbled, but recovers in time to throw out Kelly. Kelly, the catcher, doesn't run all that great. And it was a bobble there by Wynn at shortstop, but he had time to recover and throw out Kelly. 4 out number 2 in the Cubs' 6th inning. And it'll bring up Pete Crow Armstrong. Singled his last time up, broke that 1 for 30 drought. As he comes up with 2 out, nobody on in the Cubs' 6th inning. Pete Crow Armstrong takes outside for ball 1. 1-0 pitch. Foul back. Ball and a strike now on Pete Crow Armstrong. Gray delivers the 1-1 pitch to Pete Crow Armstrong. Swing and a miss. Had a pitch down low, 1-2. Gray gets set to deliver the 1-2 pitch to Pete Crow Armstrong. Swing and a miss. Pete Crow Armstrong strikes out. That's strikeout number 7 for Sonny Gray. Cubs retired in order in the 6th. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning in St. Louis. It is still the Cubs and Cardinals tied at 2. As it's going to be the 9-1 and 2 hitters for the Cardinals. Scott II, Wynn, and Herrera in the bottom of the 6th inning. The third and final game of this series, delayed by an hour at the start via rain delay. But once we got started, we are moving right along. Hour and a half into this game, and we're already heading into the bottom of the 6th inning. 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors for the Cubs. 2 runs, 2 hits, and an error. Costly error for the Cardinals because Cardinals would still be leading this game if not for that error. But the error allowed Swanson to get on base, and then the very next batter, Shaw, hit the 2-run home run that ends up being the tying home run to this point. And again, it'll be 9-1 and 2 for the Cardinals. Scott II, Wynn, and Herrera against Imanaga here in the bottom of the 6th. As the Cardinals get a quality start once again out of their ace, Sonny Gray, as he goes 6. He's allowed the 2 runs, just one of those earned because of the error. 4 hits. 1 walk and 7 strikeouts so far for Sonny Gray. He's at the 83 pitch mark. See if he comes back out for the 7th inning. So here's Victor Scott II that will lead it off in the bottom of the 6th for the Cardinals. Scott is 0 for 1 so far. Imanaga back to work on the mound into his 6th inning of work. And the first pitch, bottom of the 6th, to Victor Scott II. First pitch swinging in the air, shallow left center. Shortstop Dansby Swanson back there makes the catch. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. And we are back to the top of the order for the Cardinals and Mason Wynn. 0 for 2 night going for Wynn. Sagassi's single and Pajes's home run, the only 2 hits for the Cardinals they've been able to muster tonight against Imanaga, and they're strike 1 to Mason Wynn. That is now the 16th batter in a row that Imanaga has started with the first pitch strike. Here's the 0-1. Hit foul and Wynn quickly in an 0-2 hole. Wynn steps back in and awaits Imanaga's 0-2 pitch. Wynn sends it in the air, foul, third base side. It is not playable. It's back in the second row. Another 0-2 pitch on the way. And got some equipment repair being done on home plate umpire Edwin Jimenez's mask. Herrera on deck for the Cardinals. Came into the series hitting over 300, but his average has dropped under the 300 mark. Right now, Oaten has a swing and a miss, and Wynn strikes out. Strikeout number 8 tonight for Imanaga. 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th. And here is the DH Herrera. Has an 0-for-2 evening going. Yamanaga's pitch to Herrera, up high, ball 1. We'll give you a full Major League Baseball scoreboard coming up here at the end of the 6th inning. 1-0 pitch, Herrera hits it foul. That'll even the count 1-1. Imanaga at the 73 pitch mark. Only 17 balls and 56 strikes from Imanaga, and here's the 1-1 pitch. Bouncer on 2 hops to third. Quick throw over to first to retire. Herrera and retire the Cardinals 1-2-3 in the bottom of the 6th. On we go to the 7th in St. Louis. It's still the Cubs 2, the Cardinals 2. The Cubs will have 6, 7, and 8 in the order. Happ, Horner, and Swanson due up in the top of the 7th inning. See if the Cardinals send Gray back out there. He's at the 83 pitch mark. So again, let's top of the 7th inning here. Before we get to the top of the 7th, let's run down the full baseball scoreboard for you once again today. Twins game-winning home run in the bottom of the 11th. They beat the Royals 5-3. Reds hang 14 on the Pirates. Reds win at 14-8. The Reds keeping themselves in the playoff picture. Astros winning the Bronx 7-1 over the Yankees. Yankees have fallen to 3rd place in the American League East. Braves 7-1 win over the Marlins. They take 3 of 4 in that series. The Marlins' playoff chances quickly fading away here. A's beat the Orioles 3-2 in Baltimore. Tigers a 9-5 win over the Angels. White Sox cool off Cleveland as they win it today 6-4. Cleveland had been on a roll here too. Brewers continue their hot streak. They win it on a game-winning home run, 7-6 over the Mets to sweep that series. Phillies sweep the Rangers in Arlington, 4-2 the final there. Nationals shut out the Giants in the Bay Area, 8-0. Padres take the series over the Red Sox with a 6-2 win. Diamondbacks, 13-6 win over the Rockies. Mariners beat the Rays 6-3. Rays playoff hopes are fading as well. And the Blue Jays avoid the sweep in L.A. as they beat the Dodgers 5-4. That's a full Major League Baseball scoreboard on this Sunday. Cubs-Cardinals game, the only game ongoing. as this game is heading to the top of the 7th inning. And Gray is heading back out there for the top of the 7th, as he will face Ian Happ to lead it off. Happ is 0 for 2 on the night. And the first pitch of the top of the 7th is a foul ball, strike one. Here's the 0-1. In the air to left. Playable out there in left field for Burleson. He's got it, and that's the first out in the top of the 7th. And it will bring up Nico Hoerner. Hoerner also 0 for 2 on the night. Two starters in this game have combined to give up just 6 hits total. Hoerner, that got Pages. Strike one. Here comes the strike one pitch from Gray to Hoerner. That just missed outside, a ball and a strike. The 1-1 pitch. Check swing. Oh, it went around according to the first base umpire. 1-2 now. First base umpire Ben May says Hoerner went too far. One-two pitch on the way, up the middle. That's going to be a base hit into center field. Hoerner aboard, and the Cubs have the go-ahead run on at first with 1 out of the 7th. For Dansby Swanson. Swanson is 1 for 2. He has singled and reached on an error. Cardinals bullpen starting to loosen. JoJo Romero loosening up in the Cardinals bullpen, and a strike to Dansby Swanson. And Sonny Gray just hit the 90 pitch mark with that last pitch. And the pickoff move over to first. Hoerner does have 19 steals on the season, so he is a bit of a stolen base threat over there at first base. The 0-1 pitch, lifted foul. That'll get out of play, and Swanson's in an 0-2 hole. The 0-2 pitch on the way from Gray to Swanson. Hit to short. Steps on second one. On to first for the double play to end the top of the 7th. A 6-3 double play. And the Cardinals are out of the 7th inning as Sonny Gray makes it through 7. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Stretch time in St. Louis. It is still 2-2, Cubs and Cardinals. It's going to be the 3, 4, and 5 hitters for the Cardinals. Contreras, Burleson, and Walker due up in the bottom of the 7th inning. Imanaga's only at 74 pitches. He's pitched very well. He just made that one bad pitch to Pages that Pages sent over the fence. So Imanaga, I would think, would probably be back out here for the 7th inning. Other news around Major League Baseball, Justin Verlander got the start on the mound today for the Giants, recorded his 3,500th strikeout in his what is going to be a Hall of Fame career for Justin Verlander. Losing effort today for the Giants. But Justin Verlander, sure to be, I would think, a first ballot Hall of Famer when he decides to call it a career, which is probably going to be very, very soon. But what a career he has had on the mound. Been with a few different teams here in the last few years, but still a heck of a career for Justin Verlander. And he's hoping for one last postseason run this year with the Giants. Giants lost the series at home to one of the worst teams in the National League this weekend, the Nationals. That's not going to help their playoff chances. But here we go in the bottom of the 7th. It's going to be 3, 4, and 5 for the Cardinals. Contreras, Burleson, and Walker against Imanaga here in the bottom of the 7th in a 2-2 game. Contreras is 0 for 2 on the night. He's one of 8 strikeout victims tonight against Imanaga. First pitch, bottom 7, low, ball 1. .10 pitch on the way from Imanaga to Contreras. On the ground, foul, third base side. That evens the count, a ball and a strike. So Sonny Gray, probably the end of the night for him. Cardinals get 7 innings out of him. Imanaga trying to go 7 himself for the Cubs and delivers the 1-1 pitch. Down low, 2-1. We saw Jojo Romero warming up for the Cardinals in the top of this inning. Here's the 2-1 pitch from Imanaga to Contreras. Strike 2. Counts even now, 2-2. Burleson on deck for the Cardinals, and the 2-2 pitch to Contreras. Down low, and the count goes full. And this next pitch from Imanaga will be his 80th of the night. And the 3-2, time called by Contreras as he'll step out. A big 3-2 payoff pitch on the way from Imanaga to Contreras. Called strike 3, and Contreras knew it. That was on the inside corner. Contreras started walking back to the dugout before the strike 3 signal was even given by Edwin Jimenez. 1 out. Brings up Burleson. Burleson's 0 for 2. He has struck out both times against Imanaga, as Imanaga now has 9 strikeouts on the night. Pitch to Burleson's outside for ball 1. Here's the 1-0 pitch from Imanaga to Burleson. Fouled away, 1-1 now. Looking ahead to the Cubs' 8th inning, it's going to be Shaw and then the top of the order, Bush and Suzuki. Here's the 1-1 pitch from Imanaga to Burleson. Fouled away, and now Burleson's in a 1-2 hole. Imanaga has still just allowed the 2 hits. One of them, that home run to Pajes. Here's the 1-2. Little outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Imanaga looks in and delivers a 2-2 pitch to Burleson. Foul back. Burleson stays alive. Imanaga now at the 85 pitch mark. Imanaga's 2-2 pitch. Up high, and the count runs full, 3-2. Here comes a 3-2 payoff pitch to Burleson. Popped up on the infield. Second baseman Horner under it. He's got it for out number 2 here in the bottom of the 7th. And it will bring up Jordan Walker with 2 out, nobody on. Walker also 0 for 2 tonight. And the pitch from Imanaga. Walker sends it into left center field. That's going to get down for a base hit. Walker makes the wide turnaround first, but retreats and will settle for a 2-out single. And the Cardinals have the go-ahead run on at first with 2 outs. And it will bring up Gorman. Gorman is 0 for 2 tonight. That hit by Walker, just the 3rd hit of the night for the Cardinals off of Imanaga. And the throw over to first. Walker dives back. Walker, not really a stolen base threat. He's got 5 on the year. Cubs bullpen starting to loosen. Brad Keller loosening up in the Cubs bullpen. Walker, not a big lead from first base. And Imanaga's pitch to Nolan Gorman. Hit foul. Strike 1. This next pitch by Imanaga will be his 90th of the night. Imanaga looks in on Gorman and delivers the 0-1 pitch. Foul back, and now Gorman's in an 0-2 hole. Walker, the go-ahead run on at first with 2 outs for the Cardinals in a 2-2 game, bottom of the 7th. And the 0-2 pitch from Imanaga to Gorman. Down low, Walker takes off and he steals second. Walker, a stolen base. That's his 6th of the season, and he gets himself into scoring position with 2 outs. Walker got a great jump off Imanaga, and Kelly had no chance to throw him out at second. So now a base hit probably puts the Cardinals in front. 1-2 pitch to Gorman from Imanaga. That's through into right field for a base hit. Walker rounding third. Here's the throw home offline. Throw to second is late. And the Cardinals take a 3-2 lead in the bottom of the 7th inning. RBI single by Gorman to score Walker. And Gorman took second base on the throw home. Back-to-back 2-out hits for the Cardinals have given them the lead here in the 7th. And Sagasy will be the batter. And that's going to be the end of the night for Imanaga on the mound. Could not get that 21st out, so he'll settle for 6 2/3 innings. And is on the hook for the loss now in this game. So Imanaga makes it 6 2/3 innings. Gives up 4 hits. 3 runs so far, all of them earned. 9 strikeouts through 92 pitches, but is on the hook for the loss in this game as he has given up the go-ahead hit to Nolan Gorman here in the bottom of the 7th inning. And he will be lifted on the mound as Keller will come in to pitch for the Cubs. He was warming up earlier, and now he'll inherit a runner at second with 2 outs. Keller will be out for the 48th time. 3-1 record, 2.7 ERA. 16 walks, 49 strikeouts in 50 innings. He will try to keep the game where it is, a 1-run deficit for the Cubs. He will face Sagasy. Who does have a hit tonight that came against Imanaga. He scored on the 2-run home run by Pages in the 3rd. And he'll be up with a chance to give the Cardinals some insurance, as they have grabbed the lead on the Nolan Gorman RBI single here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Brad Keller, normally the setup man for the Cubs, but he's coming on to try to get 1 out in the bottom of the 7th and keep this a 1-run game. First pitch fouled back, strike 1 to Sagasy. Strike 1 pitch from Keller to Sagasy. Pitch was low, but the appeal to first base, and first base umpire Ben May says Sagasy went around, so it's 0-2. And the 0-2 pitch with Gorman leading from second. A little low, 1-2. One-two pitch. 1 hop to third, throw a crossover to first in time, and that will end the bottom of the 7th. However, the Cardinals take the lead on the RBI single by Nolan Gorman. And we go to the 8th in St. Louis. Cardinals now lead the Cubs 3-2. The Cubs will have Shaw and then the top of the order, Bush and Suzuki in the 8th inning. So that does wrap up the line on Imanaga. 6 2/3 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs. They were all earned. No walks and 9 strikeouts. But if the Cubs do not come back in these last 2 innings, he will suffer the loss tonight. Gray's night is done on the mound as well for the Cardinals, as they will go to the bullpen here in the top of the 8th inning. And it is going to be Riley O'Brien coming on to pitch for the Cardinals. On for the 26th time this season. 1-0 record, 1.78 ERA, 14 walks and 29 strikeouts. 14 walks, 29 strikeouts in 30 1/3 innings. And on to try to keep it a 1-run lead for the Cardinals. And try and get it to their closer, Ryan Helsley. It will be 9-1-2 for the Cubs. Shaw, Bush, and Suzuki. And Shaw homered earlier this game, as he will lead it off in the Cubs' 8th. Hit the 2-run home run in the 5th that at the time tied the game. As Matt Shaw's homered in back-to-back nights now for the Cubs. And the first pitch from Riley O'Brien to Matt Shaw in the top of the 8th is a strike on the outside corner. The 1-strike pitch to Shaw, swing and a miss. It's 0-2. O'Brien has Shaw down 0-2. And here comes the 0-2 pitch on the way. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Shaw strikes out for the first out of the inning. And we're back to the top of the order for the Cubs and Michael Bush. Bush hitless in 3 attempts tonight. And the pitch. Inside corner at the knee, strike 1 to Michael Bush. The strike 1 pitch. Bush sends it in the air to left. And playable out there in left field. And the catch made by Burleson for out number 2 very quickly here in the Cubs' half of the 8th inning. And it'll bring up the Cub DH, Seiya Suzuki, who's 1 for 3 tonight. With 2 out and nobody on in the Cubs' half of the 8th inning. The pitch from O'Brien to Suzuki is down low for ball 1. Looking ahead to the Cardinals' 8th inning, it'll be Pages, Victor Scott the second, and then the top of the order, Wynn. 1-0 pitch misses down low. It's 2-0 now on Suzuki. O'Brien looks in and delivers the 2-0 pitch to Suzuki. There's a strike at the knees, 2-1 now. Two-one pitch. Swing and a miss. It's now even 2-2. Two and two with 2 out, nobody on in the Cubs' 8th inning, down a run. The 2-2, little low, full count now, 3-2. Here comes the 3-2 payoff pitch from O'Brien to Suzuki. And we'll do it again as that's hit foul, third base side. Another 3-2 payoff pitch on the way to Suzuki from O'Brien. That is a foul ball. Hit the barrel of the bat as Suzuki was trying to get out of the way of it. And another 3-2 pitch coming. Another 3-2 payoff pitch from O'Brien to Suzuki. Inside ball 4, and the tying run is on for the Cubs with 2 out in the 8th. And it will bring up Kyle Tucker, who is 0 for 3 tonight. And Marwell might be going to the closer right now as he's coming out. That's going to be it for O'Brien. So a pitching change in St. Louis with 2 outs in the 8th inning. And the Cubs having the tying run on at first base. And it is going to be Romero coming in. Jojo Romero was warming up earlier. Is not going to go to the closer yet. Let's bring it on Romero to try to get the final out of the 8th inning. Romero will be on for the 46th time this year. 4-3 record for Romero. 2.04 ERA. 17 walks and 38 strikeouts in 39 2/3 innings. And he's coming on to try to get the final out here in the top of the 8th inning and keep the lead for the Cardinals at 3-2. Next Sunday night in Major League Baseball, one of the best events in Major League Baseball of the year, the Little League Classic, the Major League game out there in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, which is played during the Little League World Series. Mariners and Mets participating in that Little League Classic this year. I plan on being on with you for a live stream next Sunday night for that game. And who knows, if the schedule permits, one of the best sporting events of the year is the Little League World Series. I may just jump on here and do a few games of that Little League World Series. We'll have to wait and see. That's one of the best sporting events of the year, and it gets underway on Wednesday up there in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. So here is JoJo Romero coming on to face Kyle Tucker with 2 outs and the tying run on first here in the top of the 8th. Romero's first pitch to Tucker is in the air to center. That's going to be a base hit. The tying run is now at third base as Suzuki advances to third. Runners at the corners with 2 outs for the Cubs in the 8th. For the cleanup hitter, the Cubs catcher Carson Kelly. Kelly is 0 for 2 tonight. He has reached on a walk. The Cubs have the tying run 90 feet away. The go-ahead run is on at first. Romero to face Kelly. And the pitch is down low, ball 1. "1-0 pitch to Kelly from Romero. 2-0 now. Tucker is a stolen base threat at first base. He's got 24 on the year. That caught the inside corner. 2-1 the count on Kelly. Romero looks in and delivers the 2-1 pitch. Down low, it is now 3-1. Here comes the 3-1 to Kelly from Romero. Strike 2, and now the count runs full, so Tucker will be off from first base on the pitch here. Cardinal fans rise at Busch Stadium. A 3-2 payoff pitch is foul, and we'll do it again. Cardinal fans rise in applause, trying to cheer Romero to get the final out of the 8th. Another 3-2 payoff pitch to Kelly. On the ground to short. Over to first, and the Cardinals get out of it. The Cubs strand 2. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Still the Cardinals 3 and the Cubs 2. And the Cardinals will have the 8, 9, and 1 hitters. Pages, Victor Scott II, and Wynn due up in the bottom of the 8th. As the Cardinals got out of trouble in the 8th inning. The Cubs, with the 2 runners left on base, have now stranded 5 on base tonight. An ample chance to tie this game in the 8th inning, but they strand the tying run at third base. And now in the bottom of the 8th inning, let's see if the Cubs send Keller back out to the mound. He only threw 4 pitches to get out of the bottom of the 7th. Gray still in line for the win. For the Cardinals. As again, it will be 8, 9, and 1 in the Cardinals lineup. Looking to add some insurance to their 1-run lead, and Pages leads off. He hit the 2-run home run back in the 3rd inning for the Cardinals. And it does appear that it is going to be Keller coming back to the mound for the Cubs. In the bottom of the 8th inning. So Pages will lead it off here in the bottom of the 8th for the Cardinals. He is 1 for 2 with that 2-run home run back in the 3rd inning. And Keller is back out there to begin the 8th on the mound for the Cubs. First pitch here in the bottom of the 8th inning to Pages is on the inside corner, strike 1. Here comes the strike 1 pitch on the way from Keller to Pages. It's now 0-2 as that's hit foul into the seats first base side. 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss at a pitch low and outside. Got Pages to chase, and that's the first out in the bottom of the 8th. And it will bring up Victor Scott. He's 0 for 2 tonight. And the pitch up high, ball 1. Looking ahead to the Cubs' 9th inning, it's going to be 5, 6, and 7 in the lineup. Pete Crow Armstrong, Ian Happ, and Nico Horner. More than likely against the Cardinals closer. 2-0 pitch is a strike on the inside corner, now 2-1. Here comes the 2-1 foul ball, and the count's now even 2-2. Scott steps back in the box and awaits the 2-2 pitch on the way from Keller. Here it is. Bouncer foul, and we'll do it again. Cardinals looking to hang on here and go back above the 500 mark. Here's the 2-2, a swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts for Keller here in the bottom of the 8th inning. 2 outs. And we're to the top of the order, Mason Wynn. Wynn is hitless in 3 attempts tonight. He steps up with 2 out, nobody on in the Cardinals half of the 8th inning. Wynn steps in, and the pitch from Keller is right down the middle, strike 1. Oh, 1 pitch from Keller to Wynn. On the ground, 1 hop to third. And the Cardinals are retired 1-2-3 in the bottom of the 8th inning. The Cubs need a run to tie it as we go to the 9th. It'll be Pete Crow Armstrong, Ian Happ, and Nico Horner down a run 3-2. And my assumption is we are going to see the Cardinals closer, Ryan Helsley, come in the game. Three runs, 4 hits, 1 error for the Cardinals, 2 runs, 6 hits, no errors for the Cubs in this one. But the Cubs find themselves down a run. In the rubber game of this 3-game series. It does, and it looks like the Cardinals are going to send Romero back out there for the 9th inning. Romero does have 2 saves on the year. So Romero on to close this game here in the 9th. Looking for a 4-out save tonight. It's going to be a pinch hitter here for the Cubs. Justin Turner coming on to pinch hit to lead off the 9th, a .224 hitter. Got 3 home runs on the year and drove in 15. First pitch, top 9, strike 1 at the knees. In the air, left center field, running in from center, and the first catch and the first out for the top of the 9th. And it will bring up Ian Happ. And a strike. The strike 1 pitch. Whoa, swing and a miss. 0-2. The strike 2 pitch down low, 1-2. Just in case Romero runs into problems, the Cardinals starting to get somebody at least up in the bullpen. It's 2-2. Two. Bouncer foul. Stays 2-2. Here comes another 2-2 pitch. Just missed, and the count runs full. The 3-2 payoff pitch. And we'll do it again as it's fouled back. Horner on deck for the Cubs. Another 3-2 payoff pitch. Ball 4, and the tying run is on for the Cubs with 1 out in the 9th. And it will bring up Horner, who has a 1-for-3 evening going. So now a double play could end the game. There's going to be a pinch runner for Happ at first base. Bertie is the pinch runner. And Horner is the batter, representing the go-ahead run here in the ninth. There goes Bertie. He takes off the throw to second. Out at second base. Bertie caught stealing for the second out in the ninth. The Cubs may challenge this. Not sure what they have to lose at this point. And they may win it. It looks like Bertie may have possibly had his hand in there. I think he's safe. It looks like the hand of Bertie slid just under the tag of Sagasy. It is close, but it sure looks like Bertie got his hand in just ahead of the tag. And on the replay, it's got to be indisputable. And the Cubs have challenged it. This is a huge, huge call in this game. This is either going to be 2 out and nobody on, or the Cubs will have the tying run at second base with 1 out. And then actually looking at the replay, Bertie looks like got in, but then did his hand come off the bag slightly while Sagasy still had the tag down. This is going to be a very good. They're right here. They're just showing a replay where it looks like Bertie's hand slightly comes off the bag after initially sliding in. So it appears he was safe originally, but then the hand looks like it came off the bag, and they do call him out. So now it's 2 out and nobody on for the Cubs. I think it's that second right after the tag when Bertie's hand came off the bag. I think that's where they're calling him out. So now the Cubs down to their final out. The Busch Stadium crowd rises. The 1-0 pitch through and into left field for a base hit. The Cubs are not done yet. Horner now the tying run at first with 2 outs. Now how big is that caught stealing? As Dansby Swanson will step up. Swanson 1 for 3 on the night. Steps up with the tying run at first and 2 outs. Foul ball, strike 1. Crowd at Busch Stadium rises once again. And the throw over to first. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Swanson. From Romero. Swing and a miss, and now the Cubs are down to their final strike. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. On the ground, and that's not going to be in a play anywhere, as that's going to be an infield single as the ball was hit to the shortstop. But Wynn had absolutely no play anywhere, and now the tying run is at second for the Cubs with 2 outs. And the go-ahead run is now on at first. And here comes Shaw, who hit the home run earlier that at the time tied the game. As Pages goes out to have a word with Romero. Is the man you want up there right now for the Cubs. As Shaw, he is homered in back-to-back nights. Trying to get one more clutch hit here for the Cubs. Romero's pitch to Shaw. Strike 1. Shaw's home run is only hit in 3 attempts tonight. The strike 1 pitch outside, 1-1. One pitch to Shaw. On the ground to second. Goes the short route, and the Cardinals win it. The Cardinals win it 3-2. They take 2 of 3 over their division rival Cubs. And the Cardinals get back over the 500 mark. As they improve to 60-59 on the year, the Cubs fall to 67-50. Gray gets the win for the Cardinals. That's win number 11 now on the season for Gray. He's now 11-5. Hard luck loss for Imanaga tonight for the Cubs, as he falls to 8-5. And Romero picks up save number 3 on the season. Final score, Cardinals 3, Cubs 2. And the Cardinals win the series and take the lead in the season series over the Cubs now with this 3-2 win. Again, my name is John, Sports Bonanza John. My YouTube stream, if you like my content, appreciate a like and subscribe from you on there. And it was also on Twitch tonight at Sport Guru John. Plan on being back with you tomorrow, Tuesday night rather, for the opening game of the Cubs Blue Jays series. We'll see how my work schedule, see if it pans out to where I can be back with you on Tuesday night. Before I sign off, let's give you one last look at the baseball scoreboard from today. Twins, a 5-3 win in 11 over the Royals. Reds keep themselves in the playoff picture. They beat the Pirates 14-8. Astros win in the Bronx 7-1 over the Yankees. Braves take 3 of 4 over the Marlins 7-1. A's win in Baltimore 3-2. Tigers 9, Angels 5. White Sox cool Cleveland off as the White Sox win at 6-4. Brewers 7-6 win over the Mets. They win that game in the bottom of the 9th. Phillies sweep the Rangers in Arlington 4-2. Nationals an 8-0 win over the Giants. Padres 6-2 win over the Red Sox. Diamondbacks hang 13 on the Rockies and win at 13-6. Mariners 6, Rays 3. Blue Jays avoid the sweep by the Dodgers, winning 5-4. And of course, here the Cardinals 3 and the Cubs 2, the final. Thanks for joining me, everybody. Hope to be back with you again on Tuesday night, as I mentioned, for the opening game of the big series between the Cubs and the Blue Jays. Appreciate you joining me, everyone.